Big Joe is headed to Oklahoma City to the state fair. But we've got one big problem. We don't have a way to catch him. That's all got to change. We got to load up the big guy and another cow and her calf in just a couple of days and head north. Hey guys, welcome back to Cross Timbers Bison. We are at the Ponderosa. Well, it's kind of a big day today. Had to spend some money, but it was needed. We are getting something at our lease property. And in case some of you didn't know, Big Joe is going to the state fair. Well, over at the lease property where Big Joe is, we do not have a corral system over there at all. And so we've got to get something set up so we can catch him and some of the others and take to the state fair. They're being delivered right now from Paris, Texas. So I just went and got my uncle's 18-foot trailer to haul the skid steer on because at the lease property, they don't have a big enough tractor to unload the equipment. We're gonna get this bad boy loaded, head over to the lease property. We're gonna see Mr. Big Joe and his ladies and his 4 little calves. By the way, if you guys know of any trailer companies I should look out for, this is my uncle's, and I hate borrowing people's stuff. I've used his 18-foot trailer. Well, he uses it quite a bit too, so I hate to take it from him. What I really need is like a 25 or 30-foot flatbed trailer, tandem, dual axles to hold enough weight. This thing is about 10,000 pounds. It's a heavy dude. And so I really need something heavy duty that I can haul a pipe on, my skid steer on, a tractor on if I needed it. I'm looking for a gooseneck. Gooseneck pulls much better since I have a gooseneck hookup on my hydrobed flatbed. So anyways, you guys let me know if you know any for sale. It didn't have to be new. I'm just looking for something used because I'll use the heck out of it. Good morning, family. What up, Big Joe? A little cautious on this one. This is not your normal delivery day, Dad. I don't know what's going on. Good morning, 71, Peter Cole, 105, Noah's heifer, and Mr. Big Joe. Good morning, pretty boy. You are looking pretty. All right, good. Well, we've got to get this thing unloaded, and then we got to pick out a place to put this thing. What do you think, Big Joe? This is something your size right here. What do you think? Well, I gotta get these ramps down before you come over here and try to hug me. Well, we are at the lease property, and this is the Big Joe herd. Things are going to change with them pretty quick, though. Fun part is Big Joe gets to go to the state fair, something that we've never done. We're doing something that we've never done before. We're taking our animals to an exhibit at the annual Oklahoma State Fair, which goes for about 2 weeks in the middle of September. And we are so excited to show the big, beautiful Big Joe off, as well as some cows, some heifers, some yearlings. We'll tell you who all we're taking. Still thinking about it, exactly who we're going to take, but that's the plan. All right, so the next thing is I've kind of been thinking about where I really want this system. And up here on the hill, we have this right here, which is important. That right there, right? Not much grass growing there. Well, there's a reason, okay? So a lot of rock up here in this place. There's some weeds. Looks like a locust tree, but there's not a lot of grass up here and stuff. And I think right somewhere in this area will be a perfect place for a corral. And that's because we need something that, in case we've got to catch them when the weather's bad, whether it's the rainy season, we need a place that we can get in and out of with a stock trailer and a truck. Obviously, right now it's dry, the ground is hard, and we've got to load up some of these animals to take to the state fair. And so I've got to have a system to do that. I've got to have corrals. I have to have panels. And you can't just go buy, no offense to Prefert or any of those companies, those panels are just too thin and not heavy duty enough to withstand some of the beating and the pressure that these animals can put on the panels. So what we do, and even we do at the Ponderosa, and we've done at the Lynch property, is we use one of our favorite things, one of the best tools in the bison industry, freestanding panels. So that's what's coming today. We've got some overhead gates coming. I'm going to show you the whole system, and then we got to put it together. So we got to do it all because we got to load these animals up. You never know when we need to work them or catch them if we have sick animals. We've gone through this before. Then if we want to work them over here, we'll have to hopefully have a squeeze chute one of these days, and we can just back up the squeeze chute to it. I'll show it all to you. You'll understand a little bit more. I'm thinking about taking the 105 cow here. She's a Wolverine mama, and one of her babies, more than likely this one, or the 71 mama. She's actually from Oklahoma. I thought it'd be fun to take her and her calf. Not gonna take the Peter Cole mom with the most recent red dog. I just don't want to get him in a bad spot. He's a little guy. These guys are a little bit older. They're stronger and a little more used to life and a little bit bigger than the red dog here. So more than likely, we'll take this cow or that cow to Oklahoma City. Big Joe, what are you doing over there by yourself? Just munching on some grass. Got the skid steer unloaded. Next move is I'm gonna have to pull all the way back up to the front of the property so this guy with the trailer knows where to go, because you gotta kind of dive into this place a little bit to get back to this pasture. So I'm gonna pull back up to the front, meet the guy bringing the system, and we'll escort him back here. panels system, corral system is here. Now it's time to unload them, and then I got to start thinking, and I don't like to have to think. Well, we just got all those unloaded, which was pretty easy. Went way better than expected. I wasn't sure. It's my first time ever purchasing overhead gates, and sorry, the trailer is so loud. Speaking of trailers, did you see that trailer? That is the trailer I'm talking about. That exact same thing. I think that brand was, golly, that's loud. I think that brand was called Max D. Man, that is the exact trailer. What a coincidence. That is the exact style of trailer that I need. It had tandem dual axles, a gross weight of like 20,000 pounds. And it's better to have more than not enough. And anyways, so that is the trailer I was looking for that I was trying to explain to you before we come over here. I love my uncle's trailer. And actually, he was looking for a gooseneck trailer like that too. So maybe we can just keep sharing and be the neighborhood family gooseneck flatbed trailer. So anyways, I'm going to explain to you what all of these panels are. It's my first time buying bow gates, and I'll kind of give you a price breakdown too, just so some of you bison ranchers out there, potential bison ranchers out there that are maybe looking for looking at budget and maybe wanting to know, you know, hey, I'm wanting to start raising bison. Well, here is a great way to do it as far as a corral system. If your land is bare and doesn't have a corral already on it. Now, these are all temporary panels, just so you know. So just a little bit of breakdown on what these are. I got a 24-foot alleyway. So most of these freestanding panels are 24 foot long. That's your standard freestanding panel. That was $1,100 just for an alley. But the great thing about it is I can pick it up and take it anywhere I want. So if I don't like it here, or it didn't go well for us, our lease ends here at some point, I can take that alley and take it somewhere else. That's the wonderful thing about this entire system. It's not permanent. And then I got a slide gate that comes on it. It's a 32-inch wide slide gate. The slide gate will come in real handy when you're catching our animals in tight places. So you can run them down the alley and into your trailer or a squeeze chute. That was $470. I got a freestanding panel with a 10-foot bow gate. I got two of those. They were $620 a piece, which came out to $1,240. A corral panel. So these are your standard freestanding panels, 24 foot long. They're $365 a piece. Three of those coming out to $1,095. A 12-foot freestanding bow gate, we got one of those, it's $470. And we got one 12-foot freestanding panel. This is to basically make your angle, which I'll show you in a little bit, how to make your angle, and you can get the bison to turn, which goes into and butts up to your alley where your slide gate is. That 12-foot panel was $250. And then a $400 freight charge. So here's what all this looks like. These are your typical 24-foot freestanding panels. This is what we have, I don't know, 30 or 40 of at the Ponderosa. And you can build a pen out of them, which is what we do when we go to work our bison in the fall. These are called bow gates. So I think these are 12 foot long, attached to a freestanding panel. I got two of those. I'll show you why I got two of those. When we put this entire system together, you'll understand why I got this set up. So these kind of companies, these guys that build these, there's several of them, they'll design plans for you. Here's mine. I needed something simple and not too big because really, I've only got 5 animals here. Now, we're gonna have more here at some point, and we've got 4 calves, so we don't need a huge pen. We can always make this thing bigger by adding those 24-foot freestanding panels. That's okay, but right now, I just need them now so I can catch some of them, sort them out, and take the ones I'm taking to the state fair. These kind of systems, if you're looking into them, wanting to buy a system or a setup for your cattle or your bison, then there's several ways to design it. And you can design it yourself and they can custom build them for you. I came up with a simple plan. They had it and they said, here it is. So this is a typical bow gate right here. Looks like a 12-foot bow gate. This will be like an entry gate for them to come into. And it's nice because you'll see these bow gates and it helps hang these gates a little better. They'll last a lot longer with those tough hinges there when there's an overhead. So if you just took it off right there, it wouldn't make any sense, right? You've got to have the overhead for this freestanding way of doing things. So I've got a single bow gate by itself, bow gate attached to a freestanding panel, a 12-foot freestanding panel, a little short guy. You'll see where we're using that. And then a 24-foot alley. So basically 2 freestanding panels welded together with these overheads right here. So what will happen here is if we ever wanted to work our bison, bring a squeeze chute over here, if we ever get one, you could back it up right to it and work your animals that way. And there's a sliding gate typically on every working system. They'll run into the squeeze chute if they don't, and then you can catch them that way. But most squeeze chutes have a sliding gate, so I didn't need one there. We're gonna use this mostly for loadout. But on the beginning of it, we'll turn this thing around, and that will be the catch. So they'll run down this, and they'll load out, or you can put a squeeze chute on them. That's kind of the idea. Here's the thing, guys. Anytime you wanna raise bison, you can't just go and get those cheap panels. There's no sense to invest in those. And those are expensive too as well, because they're eventually gonna break them. I promise you. The thinner those panels are, the less they'll last. You get the heavy duty, this is oil filled pipe, guys. Most of this stuff is oil filled pipe. It's 2 7/8 pipe, 2 5/8 pipe, and sometimes 2 3/8 pipe. This is structurally some of the toughest stuff that you can use. And the great part about it is it's portable. If I don't like it, I move it. I shift it over after we work them and catch them, which hopefully goes really well. You can make adjustments, and that's exactly what we do at the Ponderosa every year. All right, I think I got it all planned out. What I'm looking at, and the reason I put it back here is, one, I wanted to find a rocky place. And you can kind of look at the landscape here. You don't see a lot of tall grass. Now you look right back here and there's a lot of tall grass. That's an indicator of your compaction of soil. There's probably not a really good topsoil layer here because it's not allowing a lot of the tall plants to grow and get those root systems way down deep into the soil. That's an indicator when you look at the rest of the pasture that this is a rocky, less soil part of this pasture. What I'm looking at also is the most level spot, and right where my skid steer is and not far from where this alley sits is a place where I think is the most level. Another thing to consider, do you have plenty of room to pull in here, back up a trailer, get up next to that alley and have plenty of room? Are you going off into the mud because it's going to be rainy and muddy someday? You don't want to be going off into the mud when you're pulling up and backing up. Whether you're going down the alley or you're just dropping them off inside the corral, whatever it is, do you have enough room to pull in and out and exit safely without being in tight places? That's the idea. It sounds easy, right? Well, let's get to work. Well, guys, what do you think? So it took me a little bit to kind of figure it out. Now I was going off the diagram, what I ordered off of. There's a lot of details in this I wasn't paying attention to, such as the placement of these. All these freestanding panels have at least one side of these, and then another place where you can lock your chain. Those 3 freestanding panels all were different, and obviously those guys know what they were doing, and they put chains in places where they belong. Struggled finding a flat spot. Because this is 24 foot long, the middle bar there was kind of giving me fits because nothing's level here. This is about as level as I could get it. And it's sloping on a hill, and that's fine because one thing I like about that is there'll be no place where there's standing water. So hopefully we won't run into that issue. It's slightly sloping, kind of down, and that way into the brush. Loadout, swinging gate, sliding gate. That sliding gate has a handle right there. I'll be able to operate it from the inside. And something I mentioned to you, a way that you can catch your animals is whether you're on an ATV, foot, or on a vehicle, you can drive through these bow gates, which I'm gonna go ahead and leave them open for the herd. So you can open up these gates, just like that, right? So you drive through. Now I went off the diagram. I went off of what they said, or what they had depicted, because I didn't want to screw it up. And so here's something that you can do. You drive through here. Nice little latch there. It's all gonna go downhill, of course. I still gotta put chain on a lot of this stuff. Another thing is they had this just like this. Now ideally, if you wanted to just be able to drive through and catch your animals, you would go through that one. You'd come through this one, and you could go straight out. But in the diagram, that was flip-flop. I'm sure there's a reason why. Maybe if you wanted to unload from here straight into an alley, or I don't know exactly, but I went off the diagram of how I purchased it. So you could flip-flop that, and you could just literally go straight through bow gate, and bow gate. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pin this one back as well. Now they won't close all the way. So the way these guys are made is they won't close all the way, right? They put these hinges right in the center of 2 5/8, maybe 2 7/8 posts. So it can go both ways, but you just can't pin it back. So if you want, you're afraid of your bulls to start hitting that and rubbing on it and bouncing it before you break them, you can get an extra chain and tie it back to that post right there. So when you look at it, the bison will come in here and you will use this gate to catch them. This is a small catch pin. And then from here, they'll go into your loadout / alley. I will say that whenever I was picking these out, I thought about it. I was like, what can I do to shrink this down? And we may have to get another smaller panel, a 12-foot freestanding panel, to shrink this area down, because I don't like getting on foot to try to push the bison in tight places. But here may be our challenge, from getting in this small catch area here to go down the alley and into a trailer. Now at the Ponderosa, our loadout works pretty well because it is basically snaked, where they hit one alley, they go down another alley, and they go down another alley. It's like one big U shape, even though it's in corners. With bison, you don't want to have corners. If you could have everything rounded off, it'd be ideal. But in this case, we're dealing with pre-made freestanding panels. That's how it's going to go. So I think if we do have any issues, it'll be this catch area here when we actually go try to catch them and load them out. Other than that, this is an awesome setup. You could probably put, I don't know, you could probably put 15 or more animals in here, depending on what it is, cows or bison. So anyways, we got her set up, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and start chaining these up just to make them tight. This will go around just like this. You want to get it pretty tight, and it kind of locks in, just like so. And these still have room. This is your actually sliding gate. There's no obstruction here from this way, so it can go all the way through, and we'll be able to pull it and shut it. So when they start going down, and I'll let them start going down the alley, in order for me, I want to make sure or catch them, I'll shut that right there. This is what holds your panels together. Just like so. And there's one on the top and always one on the bottom. Guys, if you never had Bison before and you want to try it, or you're just into a healthy snack, something on the go, we have 100% Bison snack sticks right here. And we have our newest flavor, Hatch Green Chili. And it's got a little bit of kick to it, but nothing too aggressive. Just a perfect right taste. Then we have Mandarin Teriyaki, Sweet Barbecue, and our original with less sodium. Guys, you can check it all out at crosstimbersbison.com. It's the only place you can get these snack sticks. This is the most flavors we've ever had. We are, if I can get them all turned around here, we're pretty proud of these. So you got Sweet Barbecue, original less sodium, the new Hatch Green Chili, and Mandarin Teriyaki. 100% Bison. No other meats in here whatsoever. Raised in Oklahoma, made in Oklahoma, and can ship right to your door. We just built a corral, and a little longer than I wanted, but roughly about an hour and a half, considering unloading as well. But great thing about it, if I don't like it, I'll just change it up. We've got some work to do now that I've built it. We've got to get them coming in and out. We've got to feed them cubes here for several days now. And then we just want to do it at the same time every day, and then hopefully catch them in there. We're going to have a special guest come and help us do that and help us take our animals to the state fair. Thank you guys for being with us today. We'll see you guys soon. We're going to keep on bison ranching.